everyone. Our topic for today is about global city. So what is global city?
Cities have been for thousands of years the centers of civilization, as they have watched empires, kingdoms, governments, and corporations come and go, but in the space of just a few decades, our urban fabric is undergoing a radical transformation. Over 1 million people are added to the global urban population every week. In the space of a few decades, we are in the process of doubling our urban capacity, adding an extra 2 to 3 billion more people to our urban environment. As a consequence, the world is currently going through the biggest build-out of technology infrastructure in history. Global City is also called World City or sometimes Alpha City or World Center. It also portrays the economic, social, and political state of the country and people. They are categorized differently based on the role they play on the global scene. Global City, an urban center that enjoys significant competitive advantages and that serves as a hub within a globalized economic system. The term has its origins in research on cities carried out during the 1980s, which examined the common characteristics of the world's most important city. To be considered as a global city, an urban center must prove their capacity. These cities could enjoy significant global advantage over the countries. Initially, global cities were ranked depending on their size. The global city in four ways. First, key location for finance and specialized service firms which have replaced manufacturing as a leading economic services. Second, sites of production including the production of innovation and leading industries. Third, highly concentrated command points in the organization of the world economy. Fourth, markets for the products and innovations produced. Saskia Sassen, a sociologist who coined the term global city, and she wrote the book The Global City, New York, London, and Tokyo. Role of global city. A global city is a city that has the power to affect global issues and change the global outlook. They can do this through a varied set of systems from politics to military and economic, controlling and adapting the route the global economy takes. Qualities of global cities: population, wealth, power, innovation, hub, hinterland. Indicators for globality: economic power, economic competitiveness, center of authority, political influence, center of higher learning and culture. Economic power determines which cities are global. For example, New York City may have largest stock market in the world, but Tokyo houses the most number of headquarters. Shanghai and China may have a smaller stock market compared to New York and Tokyo, but it plays a critical role in the global economic supply chain ever since China became the manufacturing center in the world. Global cities are also centers for economic opportunities, make it attractive to talents around the world. Global cities drive economies. They are economic powerhouses which has the stock markets, businesses, the head offices. For example, Silicon Valley. It is home to many startup and global technology companies like Apple, Facebook, and Google are among the most prominent. Global cities are also centers for economic competitiveness. To measure economic competitiveness, the Economic Intelligence Unit or EIU has added more criteria in market size, purchasing power of citizens, size of the middle class, and potential growth. Global cities are also centers for authority, state power. Global cities like Washington, D.C., for example, may not be as wealthy as New York City but is the seat of American state power. It houses also major landmarks like White House, Supreme Court, the Capitol Building, the Lincoln Memorial, and Washington Monument. Global cities are also centers for political influence. The cities that have or house major international organizations may also be considered centers of political influence. The headquarters of United Nations or UN, for example, is in New York City, while European Union or EU is in Brussels in Belgium. The ASEAN is located in Jakarta, Indonesia. Global cities are centers of high learning and culture, a city's intellectual influence. They are cultural capitals of the world. They have museums, sports center, the theaters, the nightlife. Challenges of global cities. First, sites of great inequality and poverty. We can find the richest and the poorest people, the technological and financial service industries in which growth has been concentrated have substantial education barriers for entry. Poor quality public education and the high cost of higher education credentialing reinforce inequality rather than correct it. Second, environmental degradation. Example is pollution. Third, major cities can be sites of terror attacks. Example is the September 11 attack at Washington, D.C. Twin Tower attack. Our future is set to be urban, as the world's population is increasingly concentrated in urban settlements. This creates new opportunities, new challenges. In a fast-changing context, rapid unplanned urban growth can lead to an expansion of urban slums exacerbating poverty and inequality, hampering efforts to provide basic infrastructure and accelerate environmental degradation, but urbanization also presents unprecedented opportunities for rapid economic development as hubs of commerce, transportation, communication, and flows of finance. Cities drive economic and social development, offering us the unprecedented opportunity to bring the majority of the world's population into the global economy of exchange. Not only are people flocking into cities at the same time, our urban centers are becoming integrated into ever larger and ever denser networks of exchange. The way cities are shaped, their scale, scope of influence, form, and functionality is being transformed to support the rise of global networks, a myriad of overlapping and intersecting flows of ideas, knowledge, people, money, goods, and services link not only major cities and city regions, but an increasing number of diverse places and ecologies in expanding global networks of exchange. These networks of economic, social, political, and cultural organization pivot around global geography of connectivity, new roles for economic success, and new patterns of governance. The rise of urban networks is linked to a much broader set of social, economic, and technological transformation taking place in the global economy.